Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to Screen Junkies Universe. I'm Roth Cornet. I have Dan Murrell with me.
Hi.
I have Spencer Gilbert.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Oh, is that as bad as it's a case in the Mondays, what we just did?
Close.
Is it the opposite side of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Starr is here.
Hey, let's get at it.
Let's get at it. Let's do this damn week. Let's ride it home because it's going to be a busy one. And it starts with Unity, which is the name of my beverage this morning.
Hashtag sponsor.
Subtle Roth.
Keep pushing for that personal
Your
sponsorship
sidekick going.
for your weird
I
witch's brew.
wish.
Yeah.
I wish I could get sponsored by kombucha. Were they going to pay me and just
Speak it
probiotics?
into happening. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen, people. How many of you are furious that we haven't started talking about Star Wars yet? Well, don't worry, we're
They've
going to do
already
it
clicked away.
right now.
What's the opposite of
Okay.
that?
Do we get another Obi-Wan Afterall? There's Spider-Man news. There's more than that, Dan. We're going to talk about a couple of different things today. So buckle in for this part, though. Will they or won't they? We're seeing this certainly in the DC universe, around the will they or won't they for Batman and the Affleck. And we're starting to see this with the solo movies. I have a feeling this is going to play out until the very next one is officially revealed. But here we go. So after last week, Collider had an exclusive that said that Lucasfilm was no longer going to move forward with the standalone movies in the Star Wars universe. Lucasfilm came out and was like, hang on, we have stuff going on, guys. They have the Rian Johnson trilogy. And then THR wrote an article saying that the spinoffs were still in development, but they're being reassessed. Now, that reassessment could mean a lot of different things, what kind of characters they're doing, what kind of stories they're going to tell, where they might, the kind of platform for distribution and how much they cost, or all of it. So given the money that Solo made and didn't make, they would make sense to me, and we talked about this actually last week, to just cut the budget. And therefore they have the opportunity to have a movie that earns less than they would be expecting from one of the episodes. That said, according to the playlist, there are heavy rumors that Obi-Wan is going to be saved for Disney's upcoming streaming service that is set to be released to begin in 2019. In another hope that it will be an asset that they can compete with Netflix with, right?
A new hope, if you will.
And then there's another
That's what streaming services
rumor.
are built on.
The Sun, one of the most reputable sources on Earth, is got a rumor that Ewan McGregor is filming scenes from Episode 9. He reprised his role briefly in The Force Awakens with a one-liner. So who knows? That aside,
Well, the Sun said it.
Yeah.
That aside, I'm not even.
Also in
We
the
can-
sun is Russell Brand Dracula.
Exactly. So
Give me a rumor from two suns.
Yeah, we're not going to address. We can address it if we want in this way, but whatever about the Sun thing. However, it does make sense to me that they would do exactly that. That they would have a smaller budget, move forward with it, and put it on the streaming service, since they have put so much into the streaming service as it is. Gentlemen, discuss.
You don't pay billions of dollars to do low budget, straight to streaming service Star
That's
Wars
all
movies.
they would do.
Okay. But like, come on. I don't think they're giving up on Star Wars as a massive, multi-generational, everybody goes to see them yet.
They're
Like,
not.
Well,
I mean, I don't
but
think
what
that's
you're
what this
pitching
is saying.
what you're pitching though is like a lower budget, more contained Star Wars.
Straight to streaming.
Well,
straight to stream
not
movie.
for all of the movies,
But for Obi-Wan.
No, yeah, for Obi-Wan. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the one pitching it. It was Playlist that said that was a possibility. All I'm saying is that given the money it costs to make Solo, and given the fact that they are going to take a loss on that movie, it is a sound business sense, because here's the thing is that the movies are just a piece of what they're making off of these characters and off of this purchase. They have the park, they have Star Wars Land, they have the merchandising, they have the episodes, and we here have sat ourselves on several occasions and said that Star Wars is the most special when it is rare. So what if they're creating a model in which they rarefy it for the theatrical experience a little bit more, but still use those assets to bolster their streaming service, which they clearly think is the absolute future of entertainment anyway? Thoughts?
I guess so, yeah. If they turn Obi-Wan into like a glorified, and not that it's bad, version of like Star Wars Rebels or whatever, because they always had...
Rebels is good.
I know it's good, but they've always had lower budget Star Wars things going on at the same time as the movies, but it just feels weird to do that to Obi.
Yeah, you're
sweet
insulted on
Obi.
his behalf.
I don't know. It just seems like no. Obi-Wan is a icon, universally recognized. Everybody knows who he is. It'd be weird to kind of hide that behind a new service that you have to sign up for. To me,
Would you sign up for it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
I feel like the reassessing thing, because even the initial story was like, a source says this drastic thing, but even at the end of the story, there was a big asterisk that was like, something along the lines of, no, this doesn't mean that movies aren't going to come out and they aren't still working on, so it like the story gave itself an out, whereas this THR thing comes out, which I think is sort of like the other side. So it's sort of, you put these two stories together, you have one story, one complete story. I think reassessing means, hopefully to me, that they're changing their approach on these spin-off movies, in that clearly they ran out the gates with two of them with artistic directions that they didn't like. And they're learning some lessons in terms of like, maybe we should get our ducks in a row on our next Rogue One and our next Solo, so that we don't do, 30 director changes and start doing rewrites while we shoot. Which, if that's the case, yay! Like, you sure, give me one once a year, as long as you're actually like taking the time to get it right out the gate.
Well, we've already learned that Spencer would, in fact, sign. It would be effective because he would sign up for the streaming service.
Price permitting.
Price
I don't know.
permitting.
Disney sometimes goes like,
Well, it's a
Could
negotiation.
Obi-Wan be your new mute?
yes, yeah.
So it could be an incentivizer for the streaming service. Dan, what's your take?
You know my actual take?
Let's hear it.
Don't do that to me, because then if I
No
say
fake
yes, and it's like I don't know, what is it?
I don't care.
Okay.
Oh.
I really don't. Obi-Wan is the new Batman. I call me when you have some news. Call me when you make up your mind. I just, for me, at this point with Star Wars, following whatever whim or whatever rumor comes out of Lucasfilm on a day-to-day basis is so much just a waste of time at this point, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They just had an episode with a very polarized reaction. They had their first flop ever. Of course they're gonna pitch 18 million different things. Stop this, do that, don't do this, rejigger that, put that on TV, put that in the movies, 3 movies, 2 movies, 1 movie. Of course they're gonna do that. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're in crisis mode.
SEO CEO up there at Lucasfilm right now.
Call me when you make up your mind. Until then, I'm just gonna sit here and see what happens, because I'm just
It's
like,
so often that it feels like we're talking about a relationship when we talk, right? Like when we
Yeah.
talk about Star Wars, it's so often that it's like we're talking about.
You need to love me.
I'm just so over Star Wars. It's not fun anymore. It used to be. It's not. Not fun to talk about.
Is this still
It's
fun?
not.
I'm gonna give you my Lego at my desk and just let you just dick around with my little Qui-Gon and Darth Maul minifigs for a while. Just to
Yeah.
Is
it's-
playing
feel
with
good.
toy lightsabers still fun? Is pew 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 still
Sure.
fun?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think
still
it's fun because Star Wars is like a
Sure, I
Rorschach
guess, yeah.
Rorschach test ink blot painting for who you are as a person and a movie fan now. Like, you can look at the same exact thing and same exact situation and be like, this is brilliant, everything's going great, this is the future of film, I'm so excited. Or you can look at the exact same things, news stories and product, and be like, this is garbage, it's ruined, I'm gonna burn it down. Like, it's just fascinating to me, the discussion of like, what's that all about?
Or is it possible? Here's the thing that I find fascinating, to your point, is that if you take, and I hate to bring it up, but I'm going to do it because I need to make a point. If you take The Last Jedi briefly, and if you
great movie.
don't have that binary take on it, like I don't,
Okay.
I truly don't. I have, like, Dan and I think did a spoiler review of that for 6 hours because we had
This is
so
a very
many
long spoiler review.
because we didn't have a binary. Neither one of us had a binary take on it. It was which is great, which is cool. It gives you a lot to talk about. That's actually more exciting than anything when it's your job to talk about movies. It gives you a lot.
Yeah.
But why is the perception that it has to be a binary take? I'm almost more fascinated by that than when people have them. Like, I don't have one. We don't have to have one.
tribes, Roth.
Oh.
Yeah, tribalism. It's not fun to be in the middle and to have a nuanced conversation on the internet. It's much more fun for people to pick a side, defend it to the death, and paint the other side as the worst people in the world.
You know
It's
who
just-
didn't have a tribe is Mad Max.
Obi-Wan? Oh.
Well, I was just like, that's a cool guy. Like, be Mad Max. Just wander around in the desert. Don't belong to a thing.
That's what I feel like
he
right
was
now.
a cop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Mad Max is
Initially.
a cop, Joe.
Initially, he was a cop.
Yeah. For the first two.
For the first two.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm standing on a rock in the desert just saying, my name is Max. I don't care about Obi-Wan.
And then you step on a lizard.
And then I step on a lizard, and then the fans, I'm just running to stay ahead of them. Like, I don't care. I don't, whatever. Like what you like. I don't care. This was a brief conversation we used to have every 3 years, every 2 decades, and now it's a never-ending cycle of love and hate and anger and spite and joy. It's just like, just like it. Or don't. I don't care.
That's like
Just, you know.
describing life right now.
I just see
think
the Last
he was only
Jedi
a
guys
cop in the first
chasing you
one.
like little war boys.
Yeah, probably.
So hey, Mad Max, we think was only a cop. The most important thing that we're gonna say right now is that he was only a cop. In the
Well,
first one.
digression, yeah. Mad
He was
Max
a road
1
warrior
is
in
a
the
really
second one.
dumb movie. I get it. I get that it was in context. It was cool because it was like kind of
Yeah.
punk rock cinema at the time. But like, he's just a normal cop, and he's driving around normal Australia.
No, it was no, it's not totally normal Australia. It's like Australia. It's actually fascinating if you watch it all together. If you watch all the Mad Maxes,
Yeah.
Maxi,
Yeah.
Mix.
Meeks,
Mixes.
the Mid Meeks. That's New Zealand.
Mads
So
Mikkelsen?
Mads Mikkelsen. Yes,
he,
Mads
it's like
Mikkelsen.
Australia. It's like just to the left, and it's like on the verge of this meltdown. They're
Yeah.
still having the oil crisis and all that, and then it gets out of control, and it's like starting to get out of control. Hey, welcome to our Mad Max chat. Next up,
Always welcome.
guacamole updates. Woo, Dan.
Yes.
I'm only going to torture you with this for a little bit longer here, but to me, this is the genuine sad part of that. The most exciting thing for me is when there is a movie that offers a ton to talk about.
Yes.
And that it is not just boring or, yeah, it was good,
I
or
agree.
it was a terrible film, don't bother. So
The
why can we
conversation
not
must end at some
celebrate
point.
that.
You know, or at least everyone should sort of settle into their discourse about it. But it's as fresh a wound today as it was back in December, whatever, of 2014
You know, and I'm happy we get to do
when this movie opened. I don't know. It's what it's Star Wars is a commodity now. It's a number on a spreadsheet. And they'll do whatever.
And they patent it.
They patent it, and they put it out. They
put it on a
stamp the name
lunchbox.
on it. Put it on a lunchbox. And Disney will do with Obi-Wan whatever their analysts decide is the most financially viable course to take it down. If that means streaming, then it's streaming, and if it means a movie, then it's a movie.
And that's chaos.
So romantic.
Well, the romance has gone to Star Wars for a long time.
I still want an Obi-Wan movie. I don't need to know what Obi-Wan was doing sitting around in that cave.
I think people just want to see Ewan McGregor again as that character.
Which I get.
You know, I'm sure he did something in
Clone
the slivers
Wars.
of time between Clone Wars and the movies.
Yeah.
I just want the Obi-Wan series to be just every episode is just him walking out like this in a robe, making noises and scaring off sand people. That's what he was doing.
whole
That's what
movie.
he was doing for 20 years. This.
Well, he had to practice. He had to
Yeah.
stitch that robe. Like, There's a lot of details that you're filling in, Dan.
Yeah.
There's nuance to it.
He had to explain to people why he was wearing a Jedi robe. He was like, why are you
Yeah.
dressed as a Jedi? Oh!
I'm only just as a Jedi from a certain point of view.
From another point of view, I'm a sand hobo. Tom Holland has revealed the new Spider-Man sequel title.
Never changed, Tom Holland.
So this is over the weekend. Spider-Man Homecoming star Tom Holland put in an Instagram video his script. He was like, oh, look, I have my script, and this is what it's called. And it's called Spider-Man Far From Home. He said in the video, in the caption, sorry for no announcements, but I love you guys, wink, wink. So some people thought, oh, has Tom done it again and let it slip? But probably not, because
No.
they used a similar strategy revealing the Avengers Infinity War teaser poster, as Variety points out, and this is probably...
This is a planned
It was a
leak.
planned
They're now
thing.
using him as a patsy.
Yeah, they're playing into
Got it.
his loose lips reputation. So Far From Home is going to be the next Marvel film after Avengers 4.
Sounds like a Costner movie.
Far From, yeah, we're going to get into that. Or like Otis and what was it? Otis and Milo.
Milo and
Far
Otis,
from
yeah.
Milo and Otis, Far From Home.
A lot of cats died.
Yeah, a lot of dogs too. Dark
Oh,
stuff.
oh. Anyway,
Before, you know, when you see like no pets and animals were harmed in the
Yeah.
making this, that's
Before that.
because of Milo and Otis.
such?
Look into it later. We'll do a different video.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, we'll teach you some
Yeah.
things after.
Yeah, there's
after we
it's
cut.
like, why does Milo look different in this scene, and this scene, and this scene?
Should you guys be telling me this?
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like you shouldn't. I
So
don't,
far from home.
Yeah, so far from home.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Anyway, it's coming
Lots of
out on
bad orange
July
cats,
5th,
Spider-Man.
2019. It'll be coming out 2 months after Infinity War on July 5th, 2019. There are not a lot of plot details known, but in April, Kevin Feige talked about it. He said they start filming in July. In London, we shot the first film in Atlanta, and we shoot a lot of films in London. But there's another reason we're shooting in London, which is, yes, Spidey, of course, will spend some time in New York, but he'll spend some time in other parts of the globe as well. Jake Gyllenhaal appears to be set to play the villain, Mysterio, and John Watts returns to direct. So what do we think? What do we make of this title? What do we think of the things?
Well, who's
Thought?
going to be the new Spider-Man?
Right.
Oh, right. Well,
Keaton.
okay.
Keaton. Yes.
I mean,
We're gonna young him up.
It's me.
Well, he just means
You want to
it's
sling webs?
yeah. Got
Infinity War
spider.
spoilers. So he's apparently going to be dealing with like.
I'm a Spider-Man.
Yeah. So you're saying because of Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
He did die.
obviously. So this is after Infinity. Yeah. Is it a spoiler? There's certain things because of production schedules that are going to be spoilers for Infinity Wars, including that this is coming out after
Yeah.
Infinity War 4. So ostensibly speaking, unless the movie is the Ghost of Spider-Man,
Or
which I am here for.
Michael Keaton taking up the.
He becomes Spider-Man?
Yeah. That's my pitch.
How does that work?
I'm a Spider-Man now.
Oh.
Let it happen.
Spider-Man. Radioactive spiders. Spider-Man.
So yeah.
Plays it like Michael Keaton plays himself.
You know what
really
I
wanna
don't?
see this movie.
Yeah, I don't love this title because I thought the first one, and I know puns can go wrong. The first one was a nice pun. It was homecoming because he was, Spider-Man was coming home, but it was also about high school and homecoming. And this one, if it was like Spider-Man, abroad,
I would have called it Semester Abroad.
semester abroad,
Yeah.
something like that. But whatever, the title doesn't make or break the movie. It's better than Spider-Man 3 Turn Off the Dark or whatever else they come
Road
out
trip.
with.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Yes, I would
And then
too.
it's actually about the production. No, the production's taking place in New York because New York knows who Spider-Man is.
Oh my God,
And-
Mysterio was
and
working on it.
Mysterio is working
that's
on it,
what-
doing the effects.
Yeah.
And
And
he is in New York.
He gets blamed for
Yeah,
all
he
the
gets
poor
blamed for
Spider-Man
it.
dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Played by Tobey Maguire. Okay, writes itself.
It
Yeah.
does. That is Spider-Man 3
Yeah.
coming at you.
Also, another sick sad thing to look up is the production history of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. If you guys
Yeah.
don't know what we're
It's-
talking about.
it
Poor
is-
people falling into pits and
Yeah.
getting stuck on the ropes.
The guy
Audience
that
is
wrote
leaving.
the book the score just put out a book on the production of it, and it's crazy.
Nice.
It's like it's like a Heart of Darkness, but on Broadway.
Yeah, it sort of tanked Julie Taymor's career, among a couple other things. Anyway, are you into the idea of Mysterio? Are you into the idea of that he's getting out of New York?
I know Billy's very excited for Mysterio, so I'm very excited because Billy's very excited.
I'm interested in Jake Gyllenhaal
Yeah, right?
in a comic book movie. If
and
I'm
kind of like
honest.
as it's written, at least like an arch campy
Yeah.
comic book villain.
Yeah,
Very surprised by that.
I want him to go full Okja, where he was just over the
Yes.
top and crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that they're sending Spider-Man to London, which was what they were trying to do with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like someone over at Sony is
yeah.
like, "We've got to get Spider-Man in London."
Someone really wants to take a trip to London.
Yeah, like
It's
that was the whole plot of Spider-Man 2 was like, "Oh, Gwen, you're going to London. I'm going to follow you to London." And now it's a whole other Spider-Man, and there's like some writer or producer's just like, I have to see Spider-Man on top of Big Ben.
He said,
Yeah.
"Die, you're going to London."
I know
I'll
it's the
follow you
bell,
to London."
the clock. Anyway, Parliament.
yeah.
I have to see Spider-Man on the wheel.
So do
It
we
looks
think
like a
it's-
spider web. How have we not done this yet?
Good point. Yeah. Why haven't they sent Spider-Man to like the woods or a jungle or like where spiders live? It seems like
where spiders live.
You know.
The garage.
Yeah, the garage.
Corner in the garage.
It's just very like just
He's just in the corner like
Hey guys.
trapping mosquitoes. Yeah. Good spider.
Yeah.
Oh man, did you guys see the staircase?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a connection there in my brain, and we'll talk about it later, with spiders and garages and webs living there. But
Looking for the
anyway,
blowpoke?
I think we're good on Spider-Man right now.
All right.
We're doing good.
Do we feel? Has everybody said the things?
I'm more
that they have to
excited
say?
about Spider-Verse. That movie looks really
That looks
cool.
awesome. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I wouldn't be excited about this. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Oh, first one was
I
great.
think John Watts did a great job. And Jake Gyllenhaal in any comic book movie kind of interests me.
Sure.
So I'm here for it. Big Ben or no Big Ben.
Hopefully we get Gyllenhaal and Keaton chewing some scenery, and I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is a weird one. Death on the Nile, which is the follow-up to the Kenneth Branagh Murder on the Orient Express, has moved its release date from November 8th, 2019 to December 20th, 2019. The movie is coming out of Fox. And here, the movie, so Murder on the Orient Express was
Fine.
lukewarm, critical. It was, my honest pull quote from it was a train full of acting. And that's exactly what it was. And it was fine, received okay critically. It did okay at the box office, but this was not a hit. So they're putting it against Star Wars Episode 9 and Wicked.
I mean, it was a hit. I mean, it did well. It
Okay.
wasn't a smash sensation.
They are
but-
putting it against Star Wars Episode. It wasn't like a Jumanji phenomenon.
Well, no.
Right?
But what?
So, but they're putting Jumanji. I mean, I think Wicked, Universal's Wicked, which they're putting against Episode 9, makes sense to me as counter programming. But and you have to presume that Fox is moving this with the idea that it would be counter programming for Episode 9 as well. It just seems crazy to me, but maybe that's just me.
That makes perfect sense. Are you kidding me? This movie's grandma bait. Everyone is going to take their grandparents to go see this movie over Christmas break. It's like, Star Wars, of course, the older audience is, I don't even know the story. And then Wicked, you can see 2 movies every Christmas, at least. Most people have time to see 2. Agatha Christie, Poirot, like how many people's grandparents watch Poirot on A&E? Like, of course it makes sense to me. Just like everyone's going to take their dad, they're going to take their parents, going to take their grandparents, go see the Poirot movie. I don't know. It makes sense to me. It seems like the perfect time, if I'm being honest. People are off of work and office. It sounds like
I wish this
really
was setting
good
off like a
counter-programming,
grandma
to be honest.
verse where it's like Poirot, Columbo,
Yeah.
Matlock, like
Yeah.
all the ruffled, rumpy little detectives all like, like all solving a crime together.
Yeah, I think this is perfect timing because it'll come out. You won't care about seeing it right away, but you will note that you can take your family to it on the 26th.
I just don't think.
No one has anything
Well,
to
let's
do.
make bets right now. All right, you 3 are saying this makes sense for this movie. I say unless it is markedly, demonstrably a better movie than the last one. So we have to base that. The premise is this is about the same in terms of the content itself as the last movie, which was fine.
It's a river full of acting this
It's a
time. on
river
the
full
Nile.
of acting.
Yeah.
It's on the Nile. It's going to be eaten alive and devoured by those 2 other movies.
Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe certainly the first weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe as time goes on, like I can see people picking this up like on Christmas Day and as it moves forward. I think if this movie was released directly to in-flight entertainment services instead of theaters,
Yeah.
it'd do a lot better because I would totally watch this on a plane to see my family. Or
I
back.
would watch it on a plane too. Are you into Wicked? Are you guys excited for Wicked?
They're gonna defy gravity. It's gonna be good.
You guys read the book?
I
You read the
don't. Was it of Oz?
No, Wicked.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a book?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. No,
It's a big musical.
I hear it's good. I've never seen nor heard. I mean, I've heard clips of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
I've never seen the play because of a really bad former job that made me miss it the night that I had tickets.
Oh.
But we won't get into that right now. But the book is awesome, and I highly. It's a really interesting, weird book. Twist, not anymore because this is like done so often. Where you're like,
The
what if we
Maleficent,
did it
yeah.
from the villain's perspective? But it does it pretty well. It's a really sad book. It's actually quite dark, and I'm curious. I don't think that the movie will go in that direction. I think it'll be more popular or different musical.
I want everyone who is now boycotting Star Wars to go see Death on the Nile, and just to make Death on the Nile the biggest Agatha Christie opening at the box office of all time.
No one's gonna boycott Episode 9. They might lie and say they are.
Yes.
No, they're taking
will.
a trip on the Nile.
I mean, of the people, I'm talking about the majority box office, where that box office actually comes from, those people are not going to boycott it.
This is a movement, Roth. You can't stop it with your words.
They'll do the principled thing and steal it and pirate the movie and then complain about
No
it.
boycott in theaters.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go see Death on the Nile.
0.00001% of the available audience for that
Choo
movie.
choo! The train's coming, Roth. Better get off the tracks.
It's just like,
How are you going to yell at what you haven't seen? I mean, actually, that's stupid. People do that all the time.
You've been working here how long?
Yeah, right?
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
We yell at stuff we haven't seen sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're done yelling today. It's been good. How do you feel, Dan?
I feel okay.
Yeah.
I'm titles and theoretical Obi-Wan TV shows.
Yeah.
All in a day's work, Roth.
Yeah.
Light on news, but full of fun.
Yeah. Joe, what's your take?
My take is that I'm going to take all my friends to go see Death on the Nile, December 20th,
All right.
2019.
You guys heard it here first, and I know what's going to happen in these comments. I'm going to make another prediction right now. Every single one of you is going to agree with these three gentlemen, and that's okay. I get it. I love them too. But when next year comes, we're going to find out who was right and who was them.
And who's in
All right,
denial.
honest trailers.
Murder on the Orient Express made $350 million worldwide, $100 million domestically. It was not a flop.
I didn't say it was a flop.
You said it was.
I said it wasn't the kind of hit juggernaut.
But you said it's going to flop. This one's going to flop.
I think it's a bad move to move it there. That's what I think. I think it's.
I believe the word flop was used.
I didn't use the word flop ever.
Okay, all right. We'll roll the
Roll
tape back.
back the tape. I never said it was going to flop. I said it was going to get devoured by these other two movies.
It's an investigation of a young heiress, Roth. That's the stuff people want to see.
Do you want to bet a tall, cold glass of Unity kombucha on an over/under number for domestic box office?
The opening weekend?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Honest trailer commentaries tomorrow. Charting with Dan later today, but I will take you up on that as we get closer to it, because the truth is, if any of those, the real deciding factor is if episode 9 and or Wicked are not good. You know,
I
like,
can't wait till they come out to.
here's the
make
thing:
the bet.
is the joyful, if we're looking at history, the musical that came out last year and Jumanji, which were both really fun, light, easy movies at the box office for the Christmas holiday season, did really, really well. The longer Star Wars movie did really, really well, but not as well as it might have done. It did really, really, really well, made a ton of effing money. That said, like a Poirot Murder on the Nile movie is not set to compete against the return of JJ to Star Wars and Wicked, is what I'm saying, but we'll see. All right.
We'll see.
Disagree. Bye.
But I said it last, so I said
Heroes
it
is
last. I
American.
got the
Put
last
your
word.
kombucha
because
where
I
your
feel-
mouth.